Welcome Maotrons, and so in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to become a dragon queen. I'm really excited to do this look. If you like the dragon egg, this I actually made. This is a giant Easter egg that I just covered in acrylic paint. I used Model Magic to also make these spikes, and then I went ahead and used some E6000 glue to glue them on. So then yeah, and again acrylic paint to paint it. So if you like this, it's pretty simple to make. It's very lightweight and it's fun. So other than that, let's get started. Alright guys, so the first thing I did is I took this very light colored concealer and I put that all over my lids to help cancel out any coloration I may have on my lids. And then I was going to take my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk and realized that I had depotted it for another look. Luckily, I had a spare, which I always do, and I put that on my lid as well, but I didn't bring the color all the way up to my eyebrow, I just brought it right below. Once that's done, I took a dark red eyeshadow, and it's more of a orange-based eyeshadow, and I put that in my crease and then blended it up towards my brow bone, again not reaching the brow bone itself, and then I also brought it into the inner corner of my lid. And then I took another eyeshadow that's closer to my skin tone and put it toward the outside edges of that red to kind of blend the color up, and I made sure that it met with the eyebrow this time. And then I went back into that same red that I started with and deepened up the corners, and of course I repeated the same thing on the other side and kind of just went back and forth until I built up the color to my liking. Once that's set, I went back to that Milk Jumpy? Once that looks good, I went back to the Milk Jumbo Eye Pencil and I put it on my lid again and tapped it out, and also brought a little bit of it up the center. And then I went into the brightest red eyeshadow that I have, and I tapped that onto the center and brought it up, and then started tapping it into the red I already had to kind of blend them together. I also went in with another red color that was a little bit darker than the one that we started with, and I used that in between both of the colors just to blend them in together and also deepen up that corner just a little bit more. And because I felt like it needed just a little bit more oomph, I took a little bit of black, a very little amount of black, and put that on the outer corner as well as down towards the outside corner of my eyelash line, and smoked it out just a little bit, and I thought that added a nice little touch. Now going back to that Milk Jumbo Eye Pencil, I put it down the center and tapped it out with my fingers again. And I took the brightest yellow eyeshadow that I had, and I went ahead and stuck that red in the center and built up the color and tapped it up, and I kind of gave it that like halo eye that everybody's looking at, or that spotlight eye, that's what it is, and that's kind of the look I was semi going for, but just with my own little twist on it. Once that looks good, I'm sure to prime my face with a hydrating face primer as well as a pore filling. I just put the pore filling around my nose. Next I'm going to put a foundation on. I'm taking a medium, like a high medium covered foundation. You can also use a full cover if you'd like, but I know that I'm going to be kind of going crazy with the concealer, so I decided to just do a high medium coverage foundation that matched my skin, and I just tapped that in with a sponge. You can obviously apply however best suits you. For me, a sponge works best. And like I said before, I kind of went crazy with the concealer. I took one that was a little bit too dark for me, but I also went in with a concealer that was too light for me to kind of counteract that and blend in and look pretty good. Once that's good, I made sure to set it with a translucent setting powder, making sure to primarily set underneath the eyes and just lightly dust it over the rest of my face. And then I went in with a nice colored bronzer for my skin. I did not feel like contouring. Of course you could if you want to, but I just went in with a bronzer wherever I want the most color, so the closest to my hairline is where I put the brush down, and then I blend it in towards the front. And I also went over my forehead and under my chin, and I also put a little bit under my nose, but that's just me. I went in with a highlighter that had a pink shift to it because I thought that looked good with the dragon red-esque look I was going with, and I put on the high points of my cheekbones, on the upper part of my lip, under my brow bones, under my brow bone. Then I went back in with the original red that we started with, and I put it underneath my lash line and kind of just smoked out my whole eye look, as well as I did take a little bit of the black and put it right directly against my lash line. And then I took a felt tip eyeliner and gave myself a nice cat wing. And I took some of that highlight again and put it on the inner corner of my lid just to open up my eyes a little bit, especially because then the next step is taking a black coal eyeliner and I put it on my upper and lower lash line, which kind of closes my eyes a little bit. It gives me kind of a, the sexy look, I guess. Then I went and filled in my eyebrows with a eyebrow pencil that matched my eyebrows. You don't have to do, like, for me all I did was kind of fill in my natural brows, just kind of filled it in and made them look a little fuller. I didn't drag them out too much because I knew the horns that I'm going to be putting on later were going to go right there on the edge of my brows. So here's the horns I was talking about. I kind of looked at where they would look best on my face, and I knew they'd be kind of close to my eyebrows. I went ahead and used some spirit gum. If you're going to use spirit gum, be sure to have a spirit gum remover, and do not get it into your hair. You put a little bit on your skin and a little bit on the prosthetic itself, tap them until they get tacky, and then stick them together. because these prosthetics are big, and also they're made out of Model Magic, just so you know. They're big, they're lightweight though, but because they're big, I decided to take some liquid latex and some cotton balls, and I just kind of like pulled the cotton balls apart and then put some liquid latex down, put them on top, and then saturated them with liquid latex, let it dry, and kept building it up from there. Again, try not to get into your hair like I did, and if you do get into your hair, with the spirit gum it's going to be almost impossible to get it out of your hair, but with some liquid latex, if you do get in your hair, luckily you can get some oil like I did, run it through that part, and then you can pull it out. Next, I'm actually going to take some little tiny horns I made as well, little tiny itty bitty ones, and I just used some spirit gum to put them on my forehead. This isn't the best way because they will easily fall off, but it worked for my look. After that's done, I'm going to let it dry, and in the meantime I'm going to stick on some mascara because I realized that I had forgotten to do that, which would have been really weird. Next, I'm taking some Next, I took some bright red aqua face paint, and I went ahead and put that all around the horns, and then I blended it up to the top. I did not fill the very, very tip of them because I'm going to be filling them in with black later. And then I went ahead and I grabbed some of that same red that we started with, and I started patting it all around the edges, kind of blending it down. I decided to put some along the edges of my hairline, which is kind of where the contour was that you can't really see now. And then I also put some, not contour, the bronzer was. And then I also did put some down my cheeks as well, kind of acting as the contour I skipped on. And then I went ahead and took that same aqua paint, and I kind of filled in some splotches on my shoulders that I'm going to mess with later. I just thought that the red needed some more, that same red somewhere lower on my body, as well as adding that red to the bottom parts of the small horns. And then when I started dipping back into the eyeshadow, I realized that I should add some little lines coming out, so I did that as well, almost like cracks, but they're not cracks. And this is the part where I'm starting to add more detail to the shoulders, adding that shadow around it, as well as adding some of those lines or crack marks. Now I'm filling the tip of the horns with the black aqua paint and bringing it down and blending them together. I dipped back into the red and blended the middle part together so it had a nice seamless transition, if you will. And of course I filled in the tiny horns with black as well. And then right here I'm taking that black and filling in the cracks that the clay made by itself, as well as adding some of my own. And then I took a stipple sponge and dipped into some darker red body paint and added some dots around my whole face. I even went on my shoulders. And then I realized I needed to fill in my lips, so I took a red lip liner and outlined my lips. Obviously, lip liner, outline lips, duh. Then I actually took a metallic red lipstick and filled in my lips. After that, I decided to add some more dots on my face with the stipple sponge. I even went across my nose. It almost looks like freckles. And then I decided I needed a little bit of lightness in with all the dark, so I went ahead and grabbed a white liquid liner. This one's from NYX, and I just tapped it all over, and that is the final step. So now you are a dragon queen, and if you're anything like me, you're gonna go and place your dragon egg somewhere safe so it can hatch in peace. I don't really know. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you liked it. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Give me any other ideas on art-related projects, and I shall see you guys next time. Bye!